What's up, everybody? Mr. Anyard here for your daily math morning work, week 25, Tuesday. Let's do it. All right, let's start with number one. Again, we're week 25, Tuesday. So here we are with median. Median means middle. So you put your numbers in order from least to greatest, which was step one. If you remember from yesterday, step one, order from least to greatest. Step two, find the middle. Now this has 8 numbers in our data set. So there won't be a true middle number that we can just circle by crossing off the same amount on each side. Once we cross off 3, we end up with these two, right? If we cross them both out, we have nothing. So we're stuck with both of these 17s, and what we're looking for is what's in between 17 and 17. Well, obviously, there is nothing in between 17 and 17. It is 17. But later, we'll talk about what to do if these two numbers are different. All right, so when there's an even number of data, you will have a median that is between two numbers versus on number 2. On number 2, we only have 7 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will have a true middle, a true median, because there will be 3 on each side, leaving us one number in the middle. The median is 13. Okay, so for number 3, we've got 3 different weeks that Jane has worked, right? And we want to know the average of her hours worked. So average, of course, is our mean. Mean, if you recall, is when we add up the digits, the numbers in our data set, and then we divide by how many there are, because we're making a lump sum and breaking it into the equal number of groups of however many data numbers there are. So when we add those up, we get 107. Now we just need to do 107 divided by 3. So we're going to set that up like this, using our bracket and our daddy, mother, sister, cousin, brother, or does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? So we're going to divide 1 by 3. Can't do it, right? So we're going to look at the 10 now. 10 divided by 3 is going to be 3 with 1 left over, which is 9. And that's why we do the subtraction there. 1 is less than 3, so we're good. Bring down the 7. Now we have 17. 17 divided by 3, or, since we like to ask the question, how many sets of 3 can we put into 17, right? 15 would be the most, which is 5. So we're going to put the 5 up top. Okay, then we're going to have 15 down here. That's going to leave us a remainder of 2/3. And since we like to use, we're using time here, right? Weeks and hours. What is 2/3 of an hour? Okay, 1 hour is 60 minutes. So if you break that into 3, you've got 1/3 of an hour is 20 minutes. And we have 2 of those thirds. Yep, 35 hours, 40 minutes. That's her average. Okay, so problem 4, you had 32% of 70. 32% is written in decimal form as 0.32. Remember, you can divide it by 100 and put the decimal 2 spaces to the left of the percentage. And you're multiplying that by 70 because of means to multiply. And so we're looking for that smaller portion of the amount. And when we multiply by a decimal, we get smaller. You'll notice too, like this 0 here, this is kind of irrelevant in this problem as far as doing the work. Now we know the 0 has to be here at the end, but could we not just throw it at the end and do times 7? I'll show you that here in a second. But when you do 32% times 70, you end up with 22.4 or 22 and 4/10 or 22 and 2/5. And that is 2 decimal place values because there's 2 in the problem, so I need 2 in my answer. But remember, we're thinking of this as 32 times 70. And that would give you 2,240. But since we have 2 decimal places here, we need them here. But check this out. I could have just done 32 hundredths, or 32% times 7, and then thrown a 0 on at the end, right? So I'm going to put my 0 on, and now I still need my 2 decimal place values. So I could have saved the time of just doing this. Whenever a number ends in 0, right, I can ignore it when I multiply and then add it on at the end. But there is one other way I wanted to show you. So for those who like fractions, I'm a big fraction fan. I know there's not a lot of you out there, but I do want to go over it. So 32 hundredths is 32%. You with me? Look right here. All right. And if you simplify this, I always like to simplify because smaller numbers are easier to work with. Divide them by 2, you get 16/50ths. Divide that by 2, you get 8/25ths. I'm in simplest form. So 32% is 8/25ths of 70. So now I do 8/25ths times 70, and I'm going to get 560/25ths. Or remember, fractions are what operation? Division. So I do the division. Okay, 560 divided by 25. 25s are easy, right? They're quarters. 25, 50, 75, 100. We can count by 25s. So I get 22 and 10/25ths, which of course simplifies to 22 and 2/5. And isn't 2/5 a fraction that's a benchmark in knowing the decimal and percentage form? 2/5 is 0.4. So it's 22.4. So that may be more work. You know, it may be less. I don't know, whichever way you like. I don't really care which way you do as long as you know how to get the right answer. So you could have done the multiplication of the decimal, probably the simplest way. If you're not good at the long multiplication yet, you could have done fraction form, but then you'd have to be good at division. So anyway, that was number 4. Number 5 was super easy. Mode is, remember, apple pie a la mode, most popular. And so since we're looking at a dot plot, we're just looking at the one that has the most, right? So 70 is our mode. So I might just circle 70 and call that my mode. 6 and 7 were just like they were yesterday. That's why they have the star. They're kind of the new or repeat activity that we're focusing on. And remember, yesterday's went left to right, but see there's 3 across, only 2 down. Now our relationship's going to be between the top and the bottom. So I'm going to use the one they gave me, 5 to 10. What's my relationship there? Yeah, plus 5. But remember, we're doing ratio tables, so we're dealing with multiplication and division. This is times 2 to go down. So what would it be to go up? Divided by 2. So this will be 6, this will be 8. Here, right, our relationship going down is divided by 2. Our relationship going up is times 2. So we're going to have some decimals here because an odd number divided by 2 is going to be 3.5, and then 2.5 times 2 is going to be 5. All right, good old traveling question, something we're not doing much of right now thanks to quarantine. Anyway, 36 miles per hour would be a rate or a speed, right? That's what a rate is, miles per hour, something per something else. So in 1 hour, I'd go 36 miles. But I'm going to do that for 3 hours, so I'm going to do that 3 times, right? This is my time. And so it just makes sense that I would multiply them. And the question is, how far will you drive? How far asks for a distance. So if we remember dirt, distance equals rate times time. Since I have my r and my t, I have to multiply them to find my distance. And I get 108. I did this in my head. This is what my head did. I did 3 times 30, which is 90, and 3 times 6, which is 18, and then added those up in my head, which was easy. So I got 108 right away, but I wanted to show you what my brain did. In case you guys like that. I used the break apart so I can do math in my head. All right. Good old ratios. Total of 12 crayons. 6 are purple. Ratio of purple to rest of crayons. It would be 6 purple. Ooh, this one's tricky. Actually, maybe it's not 6 to 12. All right, so I put 6 to 12 because that is 6 purple to 12 total. Which would be a 1 to 2, which of course would be better because it's simpler. But I'm thinking rest of. Some of you, I might accept 2 different answers here. I might be just wrong in general. Maybe it's 6 to 6. Or maybe it's 1 to 1, which would be our simple answer. You tell me what you think. Comment me back, message on Schoology on the updates. Is it 6 to 6, which would be 6 purple, the rest of them are not purple. That gives you 12 total. Or would it be 6 to 12, 6 purple to 12 total crayons, with those purple included? Maybe draw a picture on this. What would that look like? If you drew a picture of 12 crayons and made 6 of them purple, what ratio would you write for the number of purple crayons to the rest of the crayons? Ooh, number 9. This is a good one. I want to hear something about it. I like questions like 10 because they try to trick you. This one intentionally words things to see if you're taking your time and paying attention. So we are mixing white to blue paint at 4 to 1. So white has to be 4 because white comes first, 4 comes first. And blue has to be 1. So that means there's 4 parts of white, 1 part of blue. But then down here, it throws it upside down. It says this means there are blank parts of blue. So now they're giving you blue first, which would be 1, and then white second, which would be 4, because you have to switch these back, right? I can't just say, you know what, forget it. Let's just say 4 parts blue, 1 part white. That's going to be a lot more blue. If I do 4 parts white, 1 part blue, that's not going to be very blue at all. You understand what I'm saying? So it gives you a different color depending on how much of each one we do. All right, well, I went a little over 10 minutes. I apologize, but there was just a lot of good explanations on here. I want to hear about number 9, though, so comment me back or message me on Schoology what you think about number 9, which of those ratios is the best one for that situation. All right, talk to you later.